Hello guys, I hope you're all doing well. First of all, welcome to my channel, and second of all, today I'm going to be talking to you about something that I personally think is super important in this day and age, especially if you're anything like me and you're someone who is a bit of a self-proclaimed workaholic, I would call it, then this video is definitely for you. So what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about self-care and how to actually take care of yourself. And at this point I have to say, if you guys are looking for a Lush Bath Bomb sponsored video or maybe some lemon water tips, then this video is not the video for you, because honestly, there's a lot more that is behind this idea of self-care and self-love than just what you put on your skin. So to the lemon water, we'll actually get there because the lemon water does have something to do with it. But first of all, I think it's important that we actually determine what actually is self-care and why do we need it. So why this topic of self-care and self-love is something that's super important to me is because if I were making this video 3 weeks ago, I would probably everything that I was doing was probably the exact opposite of what self-care should really entail. What I mean by this is I did not even schedule in the time to look after myself. I was constantly on the run, rushing around, just working. So I work for myself, which means that for me there are no set scheduled hours where, I go to a specific office or I work from home, which means that my brain is honestly constantly in work mode. And for me, it also actually all started when I was at university. So for any of you who are law students or just students in general, you probably know what I mean by it when I say that university actually becomes your life. Especially when I was studying law, I was doing a double degree, which meant I did not only have law, but I also had a whole other degree on top of that, which was languages. And my life for those 4 years was actually just spent at the library. I started drinking way too much coffee. I actually just still drink a lot of coffee, which is actually something that I'm working on reducing at the moment, but we'll get to that a bit later. Every few months I would have what we call a burnout. So I remember very clearly at the start of 2017, I'd just gotten back to my home university after a year of exchange, and my boyfriend, I left him in Germany. I was super unhappy with my studies, and what did I decide to do? I decided to overload, which meant I decided to take on more subjects than necessary, which was just so stupid. And how I rationalized all of this was, okay, I'm not happy, so I'm gonna just put all my energy into my project so that I achieve something, because achieving something and having success always makes you happy, doesn't it? Well, as I've come to learn, success isn't everything. So why I really want to make this video for you guys is because nowadays self-care is more important than ever, because we live in this generation right now. You have entrepreneurs left, right and center, and so many people define themselves through their success, through their merits, through their grades, through the number that they have on the scale, how much work they put in, how many hours they worked. And the funny thing is also a lot of people take pride and get attention from the fact that they slept 4 hours last night. So the less hours that you sleep these days, it's somehow related to how much success in life you have, and it's put on this pedestal. And what I really want to get across, especially to you younger people who are watching this, it's not the case at all. And the other thing is also that this is a very big reminder to myself. So what does self-care actually look like? First of all, self-care is something that starts on the inside. So the very first place that you need to start is with your health. And I'll be honest with you guys, what I found myself doing in the most stressful phases of my life, which was actually 2-3 weeks ago, where I just moved into my new apartment here, just had split from my boyfriend, we moved apart, he moved to another city. And what I kind of did, I didn't allow myself to have the time to even reflect on anything. And what I found was that I had this real craving for sugar. So when we are stressed, or we don't sleep enough, we're overworked, we're just not taking care of ourselves, we always need to compensate it in some way. I don't care what you tell me, it's always the case. Our body tries to compensate it. It's like when we are missing some type of vitamin, or when our bones don't have enough calcium or something, they will pull it from wherever. Our body doesn't care. Our body needs to balance it out. And it's the same in this way with balancing out stress and balancing out sleep. So that's why we tend to rush to sugar foods or want to drink, fizzy drinks or coffee or something, because our body needs to level out the stress. And, when we eat sugar, we feel good temporarily. So the number one thing that I want you to look at is your diet. I found that when I'm drinking more water, hence where my lemon water comes in, and eating just more fruits, more vegetables, and it's not about, making a 100% like complete 180 change. It's just about being aware and noticing, okay, I feel stressed or I'm overworked, I feel tired. Don't go and rush for that chocolate. Maybe, have a little bit if you're really, really craving chocolate or something. I mean, we all need soul food sometimes. But the biggest thing is, I would say, compensate with sleep. This is something my mentor always tried to put into my head, and I think I'm finally getting it. So remember, your body will always need to compensate the stress in some way. And it's important that you just watch your diet. So sleep is honestly the biggest hurdle that I'm trying to overcome at the moment, because I can put it out there, I'm not sleeping enough. And that's another thing. It's this habit that I built up through my university studies and through always wanting to achieve so much more, that for me, having that success in terms of my values was here, and health and sleep and stuff was maybe in spot 5. And now I'm really noticing that how ineffective I'm getting when I'm not sleeping enough. So honestly, guys, see for yourselves how much sleep you really need. I find that if I have 8 hours of sleep, I'm feeling good. I feel energized, and I don't really need to take a power nap or anything during the day. Obviously, this is going to take a little bit of time, especially if you're not sleeping enough. So here I would suggest to set yourself a sleeping time in your schedule. So what I have now is I've put 11 p.m. is when I'm getting ready for bed. Usually I fall asleep by 12, but it's way better than my 3 a.m. standards. So find what works for you, find a suitable time and stick to that for a couple of days. See how you feel, and you can adjust it after that. So the next point on self-care is also super important, and it's got to do with your mentality, with the thoughts that are going through your head, and how you are responding to your needs. So by your needs, I don't mean, the need to sleep, the need to eat, but I actually mean do you speak up for yourself when you are out and about? Can you express your opinion? When you don't like something, do you actually express that, or do you shy away? And at this point, as I mentioned before about compensating, I'm going to tell you a little story here. So when I was in high school, and also in the first couple of years of university, I was super shy. I was always that really nice girl, the one that does everything that everybody else wants her to and lives up to expectations of everyone else. And I found, parallel to that through this, I was actually having so many negative thoughts. I didn't feel good. And it also expressed itself in the form of how I looked. So I was a little bit overweight, you guys will see here. And although I was constantly, trying to lose weight, I also had binge eating disorder and just all these, I was on weird diets just for so many years. I was unhappy with myself. And my mentor says this all the time, and it's so true. I'll put it in German because it sounds super great in German, but it's alles wirkt auf alles. And what it means is everything affects everything. So it's almost like a chain reaction. What starts in your head, what starts in your body, reflects itself on the outside world. And in terms of what you do in your everyday life, how you interact with people. And at the end of the day, it all comes back to you. Your unhappy thoughts reflect on the people that you're around. You attract negative energy, it makes you feel even worse. You compensate by eating shit or by, not sleeping enough and trying to pull your status from other things. And then it comes back to you and you keep having these negative thoughts. So it's a chain reaction and we need to break it. So some key pointers there. Just start observing what thoughts are going through your head. How many times a day do you actually think negative things? Do you tell yourself that you love yourself? Hands down, I'm gonna be honest, guys, when I wake up in the morning, this is what I do. I wake up, I don't even check my Facebook messages or Instagram or whatever. The first thing I do is I read out my principles that I have on my phone. So I have principles that remind me of the type of person that I want to be, that I am strong, that I am happy, that I'm courageous, that I'm grateful. I always say the things that I'm grateful for, because that automatically makes me feel like, even though I haven't done anything right now in my day, I've accomplished something just because of the things that I have in my life. I feel this abundance around me. The next thing is I'll go to my mirror and I will actually tell myself I love myself. And that was a really, really big step for me, because I used to hate myself when I was younger. I would compare myself to everyone and I never felt good enough. I always felt like this false person, you know, that my needs and my thoughts were wrong. And that is not the case. So you need to love yourself. And this is why I'm making this video. So you'll see my principles are here. I will insert a better list here as well. So self-care and self-love also means responding to your needs and saying no when you don't want to do something. I know it feels a bit uncomfortable sometimes when you've got to reschedule, when you've got to cancel an appointment, but guys, you come first. It's like, imagine you have 2 cups. You are this one cup, and this works in any example, whether it be if you have a relationship, for your partner, for friends, for anything. If your cup is empty, you can't fill anyone else's cup. You can't give love to anyone else if you're not full of love. You can't be happy and express happiness and joy if you are not happy within yourself. That is why self-care is so, so important. So coming on to the next point, I would highly recommend having a morning routine and an evening routine. Just as, you know, start your morning with a positive mindset, and to end your day with also just a recap of the day. What I sometimes do is I write my achievements of the day. So I found myself always, you know, expecting myself to be super, super productive every day and achieving big things, and you know, like writing my book in a day or whatever. I know that's so unrealistic, but we often mix up projects and tasks and think that projects are achievable in one day, but they're not. And that's often the reason why people's to-do lists never really get ticked off in a day, because they have massive, massive projects as one little point on their to-do list, and they think that it's achievable. So guys, make sure to commend yourself on even the little things. Commend yourself on, you know, writing an email that you maybe put off for a little while, or for, you know, washing the dishes, or reading a book and finding the time to do something little. Those are all achievements that you can be proud of. And on that note as well, just commend yourself for your strengths sometimes. You know, if you're going through a shitty time, tell yourself, hey, you know what? That's a tough situation you're in right now. Good on you, girl. Good on you, or good on you, man. Like, love yourselves. Love yourselves is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Do you know that feeling right before a holiday, or when you're about to embark on some type of journey, you're about to do something super, super fun with your friends, and you can't eat, you don't want to drink anything, you don't want to do anything else, you can't think about anything else except for that excitement. That is what life is all about. And when we don't have those moments, that's where we're going to compensate. And that is why we need to fill our weeks with things that we like to do. And the final practical tip for loving yourself more and practicing more self-care is to schedule in a me day. So I have a Lina day every Saturday, which is where I really take the time to do whatever I want. If I feel like, I don't plan anything specific. If I feel like going to the center of Berlin, I'm going to go to the center. If I feel like doing sports, I'm going to go and do sports, go for a run, listen to music, or even sleep all day. And that is what is going to help you have that balanced mindset throughout the week, and so have something to look forward to. Because, you know, do you know what? I have that day in the week where I can do whatever I want. So guys, make sure to schedule it in. And even a half day is a good start, but build it up to be able to have a complete day, because your mind needs to rest. You need to rest if you want to live a happy, successful life. Because nobody wants, you know, a successful person who is just sloppy and fat and ugly and just stressed out. We don't want that. That's why self-care, people. So guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. The subscribe button is up here somewhere, or maybe it's there. So make sure to subscribe to keep up to date with all of my newest videos, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.